The worst real estate deal in history. How America doubled its size at a cost of 4 cents an acre. As read by your author, Matt Cox. The year is 1803, and Napoleon Bonaparte is the most powerful man in all of Europe. Men wanted to be him, women wanted to be with him. Oh, except his wife. She wanted to be with other guys. Lots of them. But that's a tale for another day. On the back of his victories in the Italian campaigns of 1796 and 1797, his albeit brief peace treaty with England, and his appointment as first consul for life in France, our diminutive demon of war was riding high. He'd go on to name himself Emperor of France in 1804, ironically, becoming the very monarch that he initially set out to wipe from French society. But beyond the visible glory and heroism, cracks were beginning to form in Napoleon's French experiment. Namely, they were broke. If you hadn't heard, wars are expensive. And Napoleon needed war like you need water or like I need to watch the Packer game on Sundays. If you study history, war has a long track record of putting nations in extremely difficult financial situations. At the time, France had just lost their Haitian colony as part of the Haitian Revolution. The defeat was humiliating from a military standpoint, but it was also a near fatal hit to the French bankroll. Haiti was France's richest colony, producing 2/3 of French overseas trade at the time. A bit of free labor, called slavery in some circles, doesn't hurt the old bottom line either. Additionally, the peace treaty with England was short-lived, and the next military engagement with the Brits was inevitable. For those that have studied French-Anglo relations during this time period, it was very much a case of I'm either going to get you or you're going to get me between Napoleon and Great Britain. There was never going to be a world in which both could live peacefully across the English Channel from one another. Eventually, Brits did the getting and finished Napoleon off once and for all at Waterloo. A tale for another time, I suppose. Back to the French fiscal situation. Your cash cow in Haiti is gone, and you have an upcoming war with Britain to pay for. Oh, and you're broke because you've been at war constantly since Napoleon became general in 1793. So what do? No different than an investment fund looking to raise capital. You take a look at your balance sheet. Lo and behold, France still holds a key asset in the Americas by the name of Louisiana. In econ, a distressed seller is a property owner who must sell quickly because of financial, personal, or external pressures, often at a below-market price. Think an upcoming foreclosure, a forced sale from a divorce, or a debt that is about to come due. Or an enemy 21 miles across the English Channel who would love to see your head on a spike, or at least see you banished to a remote island in the Pacific, which the Brits finally did to Napoleon in 1815. For Napoleon, the distress was existential, and he needed cash quickly. Distressed seller, meet opportunistic buyer in the form of Thomas Jefferson in the United States. At the time, the Louisiana Territory was largely wilderness. The potential was there for someone who could develop it, but as it stood, it was largely worthless to France. Think of it at a smaller scale, like an individual who owns a commercially zoned plot of land in Manhattan, but lacks the capital or the expertise to turn it into a cash-flowing apartment complex. Additionally, Napoleon lacked the bandwidth to defend the territory, and his worst nightmare was that the British, his mortal enemy, would take it by force. He'd get hit with a double whammy. France gets nothing for the land, and the British Empire becomes larger and more powerful. Mr. Jefferson, let's make a deal. Napoleon was about to make the worst real estate deal in history, all because he was a distressed seller. The crazy part, Jefferson had only authorized James Monroe, who he sent to Paris to negotiate, to buy New Orleans and parts of Florida, with eyes on securing U.S. trade access to the Mississippi River. Instead, Napoleon shocked Monroe and offered up the whole Louisiana territory. The deal was done in less than a month. Monroe had bought half a continent in less time than it took you to close on your starter home. The price, $15 million or 4 cents an acre. The numbers are obviously hard to quantify, but by some estimates, the territory is valued at over $6 trillion today. A distressed seller met a thrifty buyer, and the entire course of history was altered. Hey guys, we're taking a quick break, but before we get back into it, if you're enjoying this episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us to keep bringing you more valuable content. And if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, don't forget to leave a review. Please, it makes a huge difference. All right, let's get back to it. Think of the counterfactual here. Without the deal, there is no manifest destiny and perhaps no American empire that lives on into the 21st century as the dominant global power. All because Napoleon got over-leveraged and had to dump a prized asset at fire sale prices. So what can we as investors learn here? There was certainly some right place, right time luck involved in the American acquisition of Louisiana. But it was also a masterclass in wealth transfer 101. The best buys you will ever make will be distressed, and they will also be the worst sales you make. So here are a few lessons. Number 1, distress creates opportunity. Napoleon didn't wake up one day excited to sell half a continent. He backed himself into a corner where he had to. Wars, debt, and the loss of Haiti put him and France behind the 8 ball, and quick cash was more important to him than getting full market value. It's important to remember that at the time, the US wasn't the biggest, strongest, or richest power in the world. So what did they have going for them? They had liquidity and foresight, and it helped them close the real estate deal of the century. Number 2, liquidity is king. There's a saying in real estate that you can't eat equity. Napoleon had territory, prestige, and armies. His armies couldn't eat territories, though. Jefferson had the dry powder that can feed armies, a match made in heaven for the fledgling U.S. nation. Number 3, vision and foresight turned fire sales into fortunes. To France, Louisiana was an unmanageable wilderness. To Jefferson, it was America's future. Different assets can have different values to different parties. Say that again. Different assets can have different values to different parties. Parking lot might just be a parking lot to an unsophisticated investor. It might be a future skyscraper to a visionary. That difference in perspective is what turned $15 million into trillions of value over the next 2 centuries. You may never have the chance to buy Louisiana and alter the course of history, but opportunities are everywhere for a buyer with the vision and patience to back up the Brinks truck at the right time for the right seller. Napoleon's folly is a history lesson, but it's also proof that the most powerful operator can become a distressed seller. The deal reshaped the United States and painted the path to American empire, and some could argue it was the beginning of the end of France as a global superpower. So ask yourself, do you want to be Jefferson or Napoleon the next time there's distress in the market? That is a wrap for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Saucetown Investor. If you got value from this, drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts. Did you have a big takeaway? Is there a topic you want to see us cover next time? Is there a guest you want to see interviewed? DMs are open. Business is at Saucetown Properties, and my personal, you can DM me personally, is at The Real Matt Cox 4. We'd also like to ask you kindly to please like and subscribe. You can also follow along with the Saucetown Investor blog. That's mattcox444.substack.com. Thanks again, guys, and until next time, keep investing and stay saucy, Saucetown.